Are you ready?
Deadman walking.
For life.
Welcome everybody to Deadman Collectibles. Today I'm doing a review of the Marrickville card show that happened on the second week of December. I have done a review of the Hobby Hangout, which happened the week before in Sydney, Australia as well. So you can check out that video if you haven't seen that already. You can watch this one first, it doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to make sure I did the reviews separately, but then also close together after I'd been to both, so I could sort of compare them. Now, in terms of Deadman Collectibles, obviously I'm a card show that we. I'm a card show. I'm a vendor at these shows, so it's coming from the vendor's experience. And we have a website, so www.deadmancollectibles.com. We've got our obviously YouTube, which is probably what you're watching this through. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. Really helps out with the algorithm. Hopefully, I'm looking at being on Whatnot soon, but we'll see. I've got an Instagram account which I sort of do some posting about cards and sort of just some explanations of small articles, I would maybe you would say, about sort of particular players and whatever. We've got a Facebook page and Facebook group, and they're for the breaks. So I'm doing WWE breaks at the moment. I will be doing NRL breaks and EPL breaks. And if we've got if there's appetite for it, I will be doing some other stuff. Like I'm thinking some women's soccer as well, but we'll see. And then we've got the eBay store as well. So if you prefer to buy anything through eBay. Yeah, so in terms of Marrickville, so obviously Marrickville's in the inner west of Sydney. It's my local show. I live 10 minutes away from Marrickville, so it helps. It helps for that side of things. I did buy the table quite late in the piece, but I actually got a really good table, I thought. It's not in the area that I would have liked, in this sort of more sports-orientated area. But, you know, like I said, beggars can't be choosers. I was pretty late in the piece, so I was happy I just even got a table. Perception-wise, I think the Marrickville show is seen to be more of a local show, whereas the Hobby Hangout sort of, my perception anyway, is that it's supposed to sort of be more of the bigger event. I haven't found that. And I've only been to one Hobby Hangout, and I've only been a vendor, but it seemed bigger in that, you know, you were having sort of people flying up from Melbourne for it, and it was, you know, there were giveaways and things like that. So it was more professional, and I'm not trying to say that Marrickville's amateur, but it did feel like a more organized event, and the venue is more professional. So the Marrickville venue is at the local town hall. You know, it's a good venue. I like it. I love the architecture of it. Love that Art Deco sort of style. So it's really close for me, so I'm happy with that. But you know, I don't think it's easy to compare the venues, because they're just not, it's a town hall compared to a theater style venue. It's just different, right? So in terms of, you know, it has disability access, which is good. You know, parking is the major problem. And public transport to an extent. The station is a decent walk away. It's not terribly far, but it's not close. And parking's just non-existent. It's street parking, and it's street parking in surrounding areas where all of the streets are tiny, and it's right next to the shopping center. So it is at the end of the shopping center, so it's not like the worst area of it, or the high street sort of thing. But it is still busy, right? So I doubt that you could sort of just park anywhere close, within maybe an hour of it starting. Um, generally, so I have to sort of park about a 10-minute walk away normally, and then get everything in a cart, and then cart it all up and out. So, which is not too bad, like realistically, but it's like that is definitely something that's not good. Um, but again, realistically, in the inner west, you're never going to find anything that's good. They did have the show at Leichhardt previously, not Leichhardt, sorry, Ashfield previously. It's definitely a better venue than Ashfield, even though there is parking at Ashfield because it's right next to a centre. It was too small. Um, it, the Marrickville one, it seems like probably the perfect size actually, like for what it is currently. Um, so there's definitely it's definitely the venue itself is good. It's just obviously parking could be better. Um, air conditioning, there isn't air conditioning, I don't think, and if there is, it doesn't work well. So that's probably going to be an issue. There is some fans going, which help a lot. But it's Australia, it's summer. Like I think if there's one in February, might think about giving that a miss if it's bloody hot. Because I don't. Um, not my. It's not my idea of a good time. But yeah, again, it's this cost of the venue too. I like realistic, like I would imagine it's being rented from the council, so it's relatively cheap. Um, but yeah, it's again, I like that type of venue, but yeah, like again, the aircon's not there. Um, internet, internet was pretty good. Like I didn't have, oh well, I couldn't get my Square reader going again, which is frustrating. Because I bought it specifically for these two shows, and in the future, but um, couldn't get it to work for either of them. Um, compared to the hobby hangout, the internet was amazing, but it wasn't great still. So again, I do think that that's probably something that they could potentially look at getting a Wi-Fi source. And like like I don't really know because I haven't looked into it and I'm not an event planner, but look, I'm sure maybe with like Starlink, there's something that you could do. There's got to be something because the internet is so vital for what we're doing. Um, and yeah, like again, I'm sure that it prevented sales from occurring. Um, in terms of food and drink, there's actually they were nice enough to give me a can of Coke at the end of the day, which I was very appreciative of. Um, but sorry. Where it is right at the end of the shopping center area, so there is some shops that are a walk distance away. Um, so it's probably like a 10-minute walk to get some food. Um, but it's a 10-minute walk away, so if you're a vendor, like that's pretty hard to do. Get someone else to watch your stuff and you know whatever. So like that's challenging. Like I do think that an improvement could be that which like I have a sausage sizzle out the front, like do the Bunnings thing, dollar charity, dollar gold coin donation for charity. You could get this. There's a butcher literally 10 minutes, well, literally probably 50 meters down the road. That would probably help you out. Get some bread. It's not that hard. Get some drinks as well. Again, dollar from Woolworths. Like I don't think it's all that hard to do, and I think it would be just something to sort of significantly help, and people would stay longer too. Um, so I think that's something that they could do, but again, it's a different type of show, the Hobby Hangout. Like I'm gonna give it a little bit more leeway with that sort of stuff because it's a local show, you know. Um, but and like I said, it's I'm not going to expect the world out of something that's not promising it. Um, where and like I said, I think that the Hobby Hangout probably promised a bit more. Um, and maybe not directly is my perception of it. And I would dare say the perception of other people in the in the hobby, but maybe I'm wrong there too. Um, so yep, there was the food and stuff, and then the last thing is, and again, I don't know if this is anyone's fault really, like individually, but just broadly, I think it's more of a hobby issue. But specifically, I'm going to sort of speak about it in regards to the shows itself. But there was a show in Penrith the 2 weeks prior to the Marrickville show. It was a Collecticon Penrith, and I didn't attend. I wanted to, but I couldn't just because of family reasons. We then had a show at the Hobby Hangout in Kensington in Sydney as well. Now that's Eastern Sydney compared to Western Sydney. It's probably like it's pretty far away in terms of like one side of the city compared to the other. Like I would say it's probably about an hour and 20 minutes away, or about at least an hour away from each other. Drive, and then public transport, forget about it. I don't know how long that would take you. Then the following week we had one in Marrickville, which is sort of, I wouldn't say in the middle, but it's definitely closer to the Kensington side, but it is sort of in the middle. And that was the following week. So you had 3 card shows 3 weeks from each other in the same city, just before Christmas. Like, people don't have time to attend all 3. So, and I heard and saw people were choosing. At the Hobby Hangout, I was talking to people, and they were saying, like, are you going to Marrickville? And they're like, oh, nah, I can't go to both. And it's coming up to Christmas. Like, so, and realistically, I said, I'm sure there were going to be people who were supposed to be, who were wanted to spend money at Penrith, and then we're like, oh, but I'm going to Hobby Hangout next week. Maybe there's something better. Like, oh, I'll just wait. Or maybe there were people that end up buying a card at Penrith and like, actually, I can't go to. I'm not going to go to Hobby Hangout. I don't have any money, right? And then you've got another show the following week. And I could see the different. There was a significant difference between the amount of people that I saw at the September or October show compared to this one. Or the previous Marrickville one. So I think that that's something that needs to be spoken about between the organizer of the events, and they shouldn't be like, yes, they're competitors, obviously, but that doesn't help anyone if they put it all together. It literally hinders you all. Spread them out, right? And I'm sure that, and take turns if you all want to go last or you all want to go first, just have a chat to each other, like, just sort it out. Or like, hey, I'm going to book this. Have you booked anything? I'm going to book this tomorrow. I'm just giving you a heads up, right? Like, that just, like, they don't have to be best mates. They just got to be able to talk. And then, like I said, it would help them. It would help us. It would help everyone. So, and look, I'm not putting that on anyone in particular. The guys at Marrickville have been absolutely great to me. I can't say anything bad about them. Same with the Hobby Hangout. Like, I've only sort of spoken to him via text and once, but again, they've been great. So, like, there's no, and I've never been to the Penrith one. I don't know anything about. Like, I know that it's run by the Collecticon people who do a number of shows around Australia. So, but I don't know them at all. I've never spoken to them. So, yeah, but I just think if they have some sort of dialogue between each other, it'll just help everybody. But whatever, can't do anything about that. But that's my 2 cents. So, but overall, look, I would say I preferred the Marrickville show over the Hobby Hangout. And I think that was probably the feedback that I got from other people too. But that's not to say the Hobby Hangout wasn't a worthwhile show, and I'll be going to both of them. Hopefully going to the Hobby Hangout as well in Melbourne, or wherever it is, if they held it elsewhere nationally as well. So, but yeah, so that's basically my review. Like I said, tell me if I'm wrong, nicely, please, down in the comments. Again, like and subscribe. If there's anything you did agree with, let me know as well. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to me ramble all the way through. Please check out my website, check out the other video about the Hobby Hangout. Yeah, and thank you so much for listening, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Dead man walking.
For life.